Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Simulator Classic video. Today we are back in Japan on Union Workshop's Wakayama and Sakurai lines route in the JR West 105 series electric multiple unit. We are at Takada. It's currently a stormy night and we're heading down in the spring and we're heading down to Gojo, all stop service today. So yeah, let's get moving. We already have the destination blind set. Let's get the doors open. Instrument lights are already on. Gonna have to do this basically in the... Hang on. Is it Control H or Shift H? One of those two that turns on. There goes another... There's a 103 series. I cannot remember how to turn the lights on. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. There we go! Lights are on. There's the horn. I can barely see. Goodness gracious. Saloon lights are on. I think the destination blind sets itself automatically. Let's get the wipers on since it is nighttime. Let's also get the interior cam set up. The interior cams on these trains are actually really nice. I do like them. Let's do you. I think that's near to the back. No, this is the back, so I gotta turn this way if I want to face forward. Nope. There we go. That looks better. Yeah, this route's performance can be a bit variable, and it's also one of my favorite Japanese routes in Train Sim Classic, despite the fact that it is, what is it? Getting on for 10 years old at this point. It was released back in 2016. Still available to buy on Steam if you're interested, and this is one of the 2 included scenarios for the 105 series. Next up is Yamato Shinjo. Doors on the right side will open. Alright, we're clear up to 35 kilometers an hour. Got a fly past cam just in case we need it. The area around Takada definitely could have better performance. We're currently at 20 frames a second. Yeah. Tis a dark and stormy night. Going to have to keep an eye out for things. Oh boy, that's an overspeed. Can't have that. Frame rate is improving. Lovely. I shouldn't use the fly past cam yet. We're going too slow. So our stops today are Yamato Shinjo, Gose, Tamade, Wakigami, Yoshinoguchi, Kitauchi, and Gojo. Kitauchi has a bit of a strange setup, you'll see. If you've never seen this route before, it does have a very weird setup. 40 FPS, more than playable for TS Classic. There's the 80 sign. Shinjo, maximum speed. The 105 series was actually not playable when this route was originally released. It was only through a retroactive update. It was originally AI only. This thing is a lot smoother than the 103 in terms of like acceleration. There's Yamato Shinjo. If you have a look at the map, here it is. We're going down here, and here. This line here is not playable. That's the line to Sakurai. Wrong. Ah, it's frozen. What the heck? Uh-oh. TS Classic is frozen. Phew, there we go. Hopefully that didn't crash my recording software. No, it did not. There we go. 1 kilometer. Oh, my mouse. I shouldn't have left my mouse cursor in the middle of the screen. Oops. Alright. I'm actually having to not use my normal recording software, but actually go back to OBS, which is the software I was using before. Which is very annoying, but hey, can't. We're a minute early, according to the F3 HUD. We've also got an F4 HUD, but that's only really good for using Steam engines. And I don't have any steamers in this game. Yeah, I wish there was a Japanese, like, D51 class steam locomotive in this game. That'd be awesome. Like, seriously cool. I really get... It's harder to get a sense of motion in this thing. Notch 7. Stop! There we go. Doors open. It's somehow raining through the train. That's TS Classic jank for you. My word. This game, a lot of... If you didn't know, Train Sim Classic actually has a lot of underlying code from... I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. Microsoft Train Simulator from, yes, the year 2000. And it is astounding that people are still making add-ons for this. Searchlight Simulation... Is it Searchlight Simulations? Who are making, like, a lot of the freeware US stuff these days. Then, Caledonia Works with British steamers. A lot of good stuff. Next station is Gojo. Doors on left side will open. No announcements in here. There are included announcements. You just have to set them up in the scenario editor. If you know how to use the scenario editor, which I don't. Hang on. I've got an idea. Does this look any good? Oh my goodness, that headlight flare. My goodness. Alright, does that look any good? Oh my goodness. I forgot those old headlight flares existed in this game. My goodness. That actually looks pretty... Headlight flare... Oh, how do I get rid of those headlight flares? No, I can't turn that off because otherwise it'll look... the headlights will be off and that'll look stupid. Oh well, that'll have to do. That is a artifact of old Train Sim Classic add-ons, the obscene headlight flares. And you can't turn them off without turning the headlights off, which is very annoying. I'm not expecting this video to do that well on the YouTubes, if I'm being honest. These Train Sim Classic night videos have historically been the worst performing videos ever on my channel, so if you stayed this far into the video, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you're one of like 5 people on Earth who do so. 1 kilometer. Okay. So glad that map thing didn't crash my game. I've had that recently with TS Classic, and I have no idea why. How's FPS doing? 37? That's more than enough. Nope, wrong button. That's the button. Hang on, I'll do an announcement since the announcement system doesn't appear to be working. Gose desu. Odeguchi wa hidari gawa desu. You see? I actually do it pretty well if I put my mind to it. Green signal, lovely jubbly. There is going to be a really loud buzzer just before a red signal, which is classic of an ATS system. No one else is here. Low rural line at 8 PM, I'm not surprised. Notch 4 on the brakes. The brake lever is very sensitive to keyboard inputs. That is typical of Union Workshop TS Classic add-ons even today. There we go. Brakes on. I can't believe it rains through the train. That's hilarious. Lit up destination boards. That's typical. In real life, I'm pretty sure the line uses the 521 series electric multiple unit, which is actually my local unit. Like, I'm not kidding, that's the one that runs in my area in real life. Which is a connection that I have to this area. I've never been to this area in real life. Closest I've been is probably Kansai Airport, Osaka Kansai Airport. Tamade, doors on right side. Right, maximum speed. Speed limit going down to 45. I do like how the wipers squeak. Listen to that. Squeak. Squeak. That's cool. Don't get that with too much stuff, even the Train Sim World era now. Long line of cherry trees right there. That's the interior view. There's a pedal effect coming off the trees, which is cool. I have actually all of the Japanese add-ons in Train Sim Classic, bar one. I don't have the Tadami line with Aizu Wakamatsu to Tadami, but also by Union Workshop. And the reason for that is because I only got Train Sim Classic after I already knew that the Tadami line was coming to Train Sim World, and I was like, I want to try these routes out right now, but without yeah, I decided not to get the Tadami line because I didn't want to get it twice. I didn't want to get it for TS Classic and then TSW, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it as reasonable, you know, surprise. I think I know what I'm getting at here. Here's Tamade in 800 meters. Pretty typical overhead electrification on this. There's the 60 limit. Scenery on this route is pretty decent, like really decent. Considering this route's almost 10 years old, it nails it pretty accurately. The only thing I'm annoyed about this route is there are like 12 scenarios included for the 103 series, but only 2 included for the 105 series, which makes, like, I've done that one before, the other one before, so yeah. Literally, you can only now use it in Quick Drive or make your own scenarios. Notch 7. I think we're missing our stop markers, but who cares? Notch 1 on the brakes. You can hear the crossing going. Next station is Wakayama. Notch 4, and away we go. This route is relatively short. It's only about 30 kilometers in total length. Or about 19 miles. So about the same as the Nidatal-ban, if you know what that is, in Train Sim World, but there's not a lot of replayability, and you'd eventually run out of scenarios. But crumbs, this route is good. It is really good. Can highly recommend it. If you still are playing TS Classic. I know some people still play Train Sim Classic, but I don't really play it that much, simply because my computer can't run, for instance, the dynamic lighting. I can't run the dynamic lighting. Oh goodness, we're heading downhill. Yeah, and then also some other things as well, like if I want the British stuff to work, if I want to make like British stuff, I'd have to make my own scenarios, B, have a lot of Armstrong Powerhouse stuff that I'm not willing to pay that much for. Armstrong Powerhouse stuff is obscenely expensive for what you get. Like, for example, if you get the both volumes of the Class 37, for instance, that includes all the liveries, that'll cost you £60. Not dollars, pounds. £60. Which is just an absurd amount of money, when I could get, literally, you could get the Tees Valley line in TSW, have a lot more replayability, and it would still have a lot of replayability and would cost a lot cheaper if you got it on a Steam sale. I can't believe it rains through the passenger compartment. That's classic Train Sim Classic jank, that is. I think in summer scenarios, these overhead fans actually run. I've been in some of these older trains with no air conditioning and just overhead fans, and trust me, they're boiling in the summer. I think most of these, like, 1980s era units are, like, in major cities, they're mostly phased out. You would only really find them on rural lines. Next stop, Yoshinoguchi. In 4 kilometers. This definitely isn't my favorite Japanese Train Sim Classic add-on. I think that honor definitely goes to the Tokyo Commuter Keihin Tohoku and Utsunomiya lines add-on. But this is definitely in the top 3. Like, my top 3 Japanese routes for TS Classic are Tokyo Commuter, Tohoku High Speed and Main Line, and then this. But yeah, if you want something a bit different to this that uses diesels instead of it is like a fictional route that has a more career-based one, then I can highly recommend Story of Forest Rail. Because despite being well over 10 years old at this point, that route has aged actually quite well. Now we start really climbing. Look at that. Wrong button. That's the button. Just a single 2-car unit making our way. I thought that was a red signal. It was just a dang railway crossing. Oh boy. hill. Is that a lightning flash or just a texture glitch? It's a texture glitch, I think. The EMUs included with this route, despite being old, really do make short work of these hills. Should have mentioned also that this route is apparently set in the mid-2000s. The Kitouchi station is still in its weird state, as you'll see, and also what is it? I'm trying to remember. And then, yeah, you also have these two older EMUs instead of the more modern stuff running around. River. Sorry about that, viewers. Watch 4 on the brakes. This bit is my favorite bit of the route, especially in spring, because Yoshinoguchi, it also merges up with the Kintetsu line, which is the one line joining from the left, which is operated privately. And then also you have that whole bank of cherry trees on either side of the river. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Don't have a red signal, which is nice. I don't have the Duncan ATS system going off in my ears. Oh, mouse cursor. I keep forgetting it doesn't disappear like it does in TSW. It does a 103 series off to the right, which is a green one. There was, and you're probably, actually, now that I think about it, you're probably wondering why this we're actually here for a bit longer than usual. You're probably wondering why I haven't got a JR branding patch installed. That's because there aren't any. And the reason for that is someone did make one, but then JR sued them and got the mod taken down. JR are that absurd about branding. About their branding. Like a freeware mod. Yeah. The only officially branded JR train sim that you can get is JR East Train Simulator, and that's a whole different kind of train simulator, because that involves using cameras and speeding up footage rather than rendering things in 3D like Train Sim Classic and Train Sim World do. And I know a lot of people. I know I extol Japanese trains whenever I can, but unfortunately, JR East Train Sim is an absurd. Costs an absurd amount of money, and not only that, it never goes on sale, and all of the DLCs for it, which there are quite a few of, to be fair, also cost an absurd amount. Like, I'm talking like $20 for a DLC that only comes with a couple of scenarios, and then like $30 for the base game if you convert. Like, it's a bit cheaper in yen, but still expensive. People in areas other than Japan have it even worse, because it costs even more in foreign monies than normal, than it does in Japan, which is unacceptable. And as I said, despite being sold on Steam, it never ever goes on sale, ever. And I hate that. Like, if it went on sale, I would definitely consider picking it up if it went on a decent sale. However, that's probably never going to happen. Next up, Kitouchi in 6.66 kilometers. Nice. And we've only got, I assume, Kitouchi and Gojo. Yeah, Kitouchi and Gojo are the only two stops left today. Green signal onto the next section of track. Yeah, we've got a really we've got a pretty windy and steep section ahead, so I've got to be careful. Okay, it's getting steep. 2.6%. Not 3. This thing can operate on extremely steep slopes, so we're fine for now. I love how the sounds change when you're going over a bridge, because that is totally realistic. Oh my word. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's yeah. If I go like 5 kilometers an hour over the limit, the ATS system is going to have a mental breakdown and stop the train. I'll sound the horn just because it's a dark night. Start going uphill again. Oh goodness, I just got mesmerized by the windscreen wiper. That's hilarious. Why's the frame rate gone down so much? What the heck? There are just so many trees around it, it's having trouble. The game's beginning to chug a bit? I don't know. Got even steeper hill now. That's 2%, 2.3%, 2.5. That's a 3% hill. My word. See what I meant by this? The fact that this is exceptionally steep. We have a 35 limit coming to Kitauchi, so... And I assume that signal's going to be at a yellow aspect, so we should be careful. And you'll be wondering, why? Oh, why does Kitauchi have buffers after it? You'll see. This is the expressway that they were building at the time. Can't remember which one that is. I think it heads from Nara down south to Wakayama, I think, if I remember correctly. Do have a hill, so notch 1. This is the highest point we'll get to today. Frame rate is increasing, thank goodness. Easy. Notch 3. 500 meters, so I'll get notch 4 going. Yeah, Kitauchi is set up in such a weird way. So you basically, if you're coming in from the north, you come in like this, back into this, and then go out again. If you come in from the south, you back in, up there. Which is just so weird. Why does that even work like that? Get notch 1 of brakes at least. Oh, that's my mouse cursor. Notch 2. Thankfully, in the modern day, Kitauchi has actually been rebuilt and is just a normal station, just a one platform one through platform about here, and no sightings or any other shenanigans. Which I'm very thankful for, because this is the weirdest station I've ever had the misfortune to come up against. Onto the brakes. Have to put it in reverse. Open the doors. Let's put it in reverse. Let's make sure the lights have changed. Yes, they have. And if I check the other end, headlights should be on. Yes, they are, which means I can back this thing up. Oh, also one thing I should probably point out, going into drone camera, this little thing here that says one man in katakana, which is one of the scripts that they have. That basically means it's it's just a train with one driver, no conductor. So the driver manually checks the doors have properly closed before they set off, which I probably should have been doing, but yeah. Nope, wrong button. That's the button. Next station is Gojo. Doors on right side. Okay. Notch 4. Let's back her up. Even though it's 8 p.m., I'll sound the horn. Yeah, this is so weird. I don't know why this was ever set up like this, but there you go. Yes, there we go. Crossing over. Love the flange sounds too. That's great. Alright, let's see. Alright, full stop. Notch 7 on the brakes. So throw just a full stop. Switch forward. Headlights on. Notch 4, here we go. Brakes release pretty quickly. Next up, Gojo in 4.2 kilometers. Alright. There goes Kitauchi. And we're now on the downhill to Gojo. Oh, 60 limit. We do have a whistle board coming up, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. There's the expressway again, crossing over. Or is that a local road? No, I think that's a local road. Never mind, my bad. Yep, now it's even steeper. Have to hold the brakes. Whistleboard coming up. Well, whistleboard, horn board, whatever. It's called a whistleboard. There's the railway crossing up there. And now... Oh my goodness, 4%! My word. Not 4 on the brakes. Goodness. That was insane. 4%? Okay, hill is finally beginning to level out. 2 kilometers to go. Frame rate is holding steady-ish. What are those bright lights? Oh, they're buildings that they just haven't rendered in yet. That's funny. 35 limit coming up as we come into Gojo. If this was 5 years ago, I'd be hoping that this line would get an extension to, say, Wakayama and Nara, so we could do a full Wakayama to Nara service. But unfortunately, this route's almost 10 years old, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. Union Workshop have their hands full with getting the Tadami line out for TSW after many years, and then also getting the okay, that's the ATS system letting us know we have a red signal next. If I hadn't known that I was coming, I'd jump out of my skin, because that thing is insane. Yeah. And not only the Tadami line for TSW, but they're also working on the Yamanote line extension for the Tokyo commuter route that they promised a while back, which they've had on hold while the Tadami route gets done for TSW. They're not a big team, it's just a few people, so the fact that they got the Tadami line for TSW this near to completion at all is a minor miracle. And stop, and open. Alright, you be quiet. Alright, welcome to Gojo, everybody. After a relatively uneventful run from Takada. Come on, doors. Need to get going. Put it in neutral. So I can't do any shenanigans. Oh, I hear another train coming. There's a... Oh, we've got a 103 series coming. Nice. Watch him come in. Actually, I'll put the reverser back and forward. Here he comes. My goodness, that was a quick stop. Let's adjust the view real quick. And there we go. That's the scenario done. Hopefully I didn't blind you by transitioning from that dark thing, a dark train, over to bright main menu screen. But yeah, that'll be all for this video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications if you want to see more. And I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.